All right. Hello, everyone. We're going to give folks just a second to get in. We are so glad that you are taking some time out of your evening to join us tonight. And so excited about this amazing conversation we're getting ready to have. Thank you. Give it just another second or two. And I love emojis. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. All right. Hi, everyone. I am Tiffany Muller, and I am the president of End Citizens United. And we're a grassroots organization dedicated to rooting out corruption in government and protecting the freedom to vote. And we have 4 million members over nationwide. I really can talk. It's been a long day, though. So you just bear with me. Bear with me. And look, they are all united by one simple idea that the government should work for the people, not the billionaires, not the corporate special interests, and not the lobbyists. And right now, we're in a fight exactly over that, about who our government is actually serving. And, frankly, the Republicans have made their choice. They're siding with the big money donors and the folks who bankroll their campaigns. They're siding with the special interests and the same ones that they then reward with billions and billions in big tax giveaways, all while making sure that your prices keep going up and jacking up healthcare premiums for millions of Americans all across the country. But we're here tonight because we know something really, really powerful. We know that when we call out the corruption and when we stand together, we elect leaders who answer to the people and we win. That whole when we fight, we win. Well, when we stand up against the corruption and the big money, we win. And that's exactly what we just did about 50 days ago, 55 days ago in Arizona, where finally this past week, after 50 days of partisan obstruction from Speaker Mike Johnson, Congresswoman, I love saying that, Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva was finally sworn in. And we are all so excited. It was a proud moment, obviously, for her and for the district and for so many people. And I will tell you, it was a proud moment for us here at End Citizens United, too, because we were so excited to support her during the campaign. And we didn't just show up at the end, we were there from the beginning and helping to get the word out about how important her election is. And it was because it was crystal clear about who she was fighting for, right? It was regular, hardworking Americans who just want government to give a damn about them. And she talked about rejecting corporate PAC money and lowering costs and improving public safety and protecting healthcare, the issues we know Americans really care about. And that's why we're here tonight, right? Because we have to stay in the fight. And now we have the opportunity to take that same energy, that same people powered momentum, and bring it to Tennessee, where the amazing Aftyn Behn is running in the most important special election in the country. And guess what, folks? Like, this is right around the corner. This is coming up on December 2nd. And early voting, you're going to hear it from Aftyn, but is already open. People are already voting. And so I've gotten to know Aftyn. She is the kind of leader our country desperately needs right now. She's fearless. She's principled. She's not afraid to call out corruption or stand up to the special interest. And she has dedicated her life to working and fighting for working families. She's been doing this on the ground in Tennessee, in her community. And she has been running just such an incredible campaign, a campaign that's really rooted in that belief that every Tennessean deserves a representative who isn't owned by the big money, but that answers to you. So it is such a huge deal to have both of these incredible badass women with me tonight. And so we're going to have a great conversation. So let's kick it off. Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva, I want to turn it over to you for some introductory remarks.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me tonight. I'm very excited to be here right now as our nation is facing unprecedented attacks on our basic functioning of our democracy. It's critical to have conversations about the democratic response. And I was so proud to have the support of End Citizens United, and I think it was critical in my race because so many other organizations jumped in to help when they knew that I wasn't going to be taking corporate PAC money, that I did not have a stock to trade and was not going to start acquiring it. I think it's, there's so much ugly, dark money in our campaigns. And it's really difficult for candidates like Aftyn that are just, I'm in it for the fight. I'm in it for the people. I'm in it to like make things better. And you have a lot of outside dark money coming in. It makes you question some things. So you have to be very strong in your values. And it's organizations like End Citizens United that really helps bolster us. It really encourages us that we're doing the right thing. We're doing it the right way. We're not relying on a bunch of wealthy donors. We're not ignoring spending laws and ordinances. And, it's part of what Trump has done, unfortunately, is desensitize us to this idea that, he does so many horrible, outrageous things and blatantly breaks the law, but he does it out in public. So people just kind of assume that it must be okay. And it is organizations like End Citizens United that continues to push back on the fact that it is not okay. Our government is not for sale, despite what Trump says. And so I'm very proud that, when we start to have these kind of conversations, it re-engages people in a conversation. What we learned very much from my campaign, but also Mamdani's campaign, is that people are not responding to the lesser of two evils. They're responding to hope. They're responding to, I want things to be better and to be different. And we can do that together. And so, this natural reaction of people to like when things get too hard to disengage, it's hard and painful to watch. And it is these kind of opportunities that we have to continue to bolster each other and look for hope because there is an opportunity. This will get better, and we have to fight for our democracy together. So thank you. I'm looking forward to our discussion. And thank you to everyone who's here.
Well, thank you so much, Congresswoman Grijalva. All right, Aftyn, we are coming up on this big, huge election. You are just been setting kind of the campaign world on fire. Tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about the race, and go ahead and give a pitch now of what folks can do to get involved.
Yeah, so I'm Representative Aftyn Behn. I represent downtown Nashville and decided to run for this seat after the passage of the Big Ugly Bill. It's a special congressional election in Tennessee, and it's an R+20 district, but because of our organizing efforts, it is now a 4-point game. It is the last flippable seat in the entire country, and it's a testament to not only having a candidate like myself and a community organizer who has stood up to corporate power in the state of Tennessee, but a testament to the fact that the South is shifting and that people are waking up and realizing that the economic agenda that they signed up for from the federal administration is not delivering. And in terms of special interest, just to give you a preview of the race, Jeff Bezos actually dropped $1 million in the Republican primary for the special congressional election. $2 million was spent to bolster their candidate of choice, who is a puppet to the puppet masters. And obviously, I'm the candidate of the people. So the early voting has started and the election's on December 2nd. And if we flip it, it'll dramatically change the map in favor of non-corporate PAC candidates next year.
Well, and it's also going to set the stage for flipping the House, right? Picking up this seat gets us one step closer, and it's one less vote that Mike Johnson can afford to lose when he's having a tough time holding his caucus together. So we have seen what can happen by just changing one seat, right? We absolutely know that. So we all need to double down and do everything we can to send Representative Aftyn Behn to Congress to join Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva on December 2nd. And I am super fired up. I'm so excited about this. All right. So we're going to just we have some questions that have come in. We're going to do some Q&A. We're going to have some fun. We should be having wine, but we're keeping it PG here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Adelita, it's been less than a week since you were sworn into Congress, but it's been quite a week. How have the first few days in office been?
I understand that it's not like this all the time.
I mean, it didn't used to be.
Well, this is what's interesting. So I make my speech, I sign, I'm the 218th signer. We just voted 4 hours ago in the House to accept the Epstein Transparency Act. And then it went to the Senate and it is already on Trump's desk.
That
Like
never
that
happens.
quick. Thank you. Like that kind of people keep saying, don't think it happens like this all the time. It never does. So it's been quite the whirlwind. I don't really know if I've had an opportunity to even really take it in. It's been very emotional. When I spoke today for, because you only have a certain amount of time and everyone wants to speak. So I had 30 seconds. But coincidentally, when I was speaking, some of the survivors were up in the gallery. And that was very emotional because it was right before we were voting on the Epstein Transparency Act. And it's also been we're working through stuff. We just received access to office equipment and we still need to get offices fully up and running. So our aggressive agenda has been a little slowed, but instead of being, deterred, we're going to work twice as hard. We're going to get up and moving, but it's that it's there are pros and cons to this for sure. The delay really hurt uh, our district services, but I do think that a lot more people are paying attention to some of these issues because what Speaker Johnson did in obstructing my swearing in is really highlight how corrupt this administration really is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that they spent 50 days keeping you out of office so that you wouldn't be the 218th signer to force a vote on the Epstein bill. And then, during that same time, we saw them actually trying to bully people to take their names off of it, right? And we were talking a little bit about this before we went live, but I just have to say, I mean, it is such what a true testament of organizing power and people power that today ended with this bill not only being voted on and approved through the House, but being unanimously approved in the Senate. And what justice for the survivors, right? That have been who sometimes get lost in the political ping pong war of this, right? But that is actually what this is about, is getting justice for those survivors and holding people to account. And it shows that the power of the people can be more powerful than any cover up or any corruption attempts to be. So thank you for being such a leader on this. I know that you have been so outspoken on it, and it was a really big day. And we have to celebrate these wins. We really do. Because in this world, with this administration and this House Republican majority, they are few and far between right now. So we have to celebrate them.
Yep, I agree.
Uh, uh, so, after kind of building on that, I mean, talking about a representative who would serve the people and not special interests, let's talk about what it would mean to have you in office versus your opponent, Matt Van Epps. What does that actually mean in the day-to-day lives of Tennessee 7 working families, particularly around like high cost of living and some of the things that you're hearing day in and day out from people and what they're struggling with?
I want folks to understand that Tennessee is a state that is bought and sold to the highest bidder. We are a corporate oligarchy. And I say that as someone who serves in the Tennessee legislature. Our legislature voted to revise our franchise tax to hand over $1 billion to multinational corporations, of our tax dollars to multinational corporations. We have a tax code that discriminates against working moms trying to buy baby formula at Kroger. Monsanto argued, passed a bill to refuse civil immunity or give them civil immunity from Tennessee families who've been victims of pesticides to recuse themselves from any wrongdoing. And then finally, I want to talk about the Tennessee Valley Authority because this puts it into perspective back to your question. So the Tennessee Valley Authority provides the lowest utility rates in the Southeast, and it's a brainchild of the New Deal. And the federal administration right now is trying to privatize it and install sycophants, which would jack up electric bills and push our public power system to wealthy insiders. And so this has real implications. I mean, utility bills, everything in Tennessee, and I know it's across the country, but we're facing an affordability crisis. And our utility rates, if our electrical grid and our power system is privatized, would exponentially raise those rates and would force Tennessee families into poverty.
It seems like every time Republicans pick a fight, this is really for both of you, and it's kind of building on what you were just talking about. But every time Republicans pick a fight, whether it's over utility costs or healthcare or any other issue, billionaires and corporate interests seem to get richer, but people seem to fall further and further behind. Uh, Tell me, is that true or does it just feel that way? What does this tell us about their agenda and who they're serving? And how do we expose that kind of constant corruption?
Mhm.
That's to both of you. Whoever wants to take it first.
I'll go ahead and start and say it's totally true. It doesn't just feel like that, it is that way. I mean, billionaires continue to get rich. When you look at the number of people that qualify for SNAP, that depend on ACA benefits, when you look at those people, many of them are working. So, why is it that these corporations are not required to provide health care? They have so many loopholes in order to continue to stay billionaires. That's with a B, right? So when you're looking at the trillions of tax handouts to the wealthy that have been brazenly attached to historic healthcare cuts, now 15 million people are set to lose their healthcare coverage, and 22 million are facing skyrocketing premiums. I spoke to a couple who are both 65. They just retired. Currently, their health care is $500 a month. Their health care next year, when we open this up again, is $2,400 a month because
Oh
of
my God.
pre-existing conditions. How are they supposed to cover that? They're not. What's going
Yeah.
to happen is they're only going to go to the doctor when it's an emergency, which is already stretching a tax system as it is. It's already like stretched as far as it can go. And these rural healthcare facilities all around, and we have five of them in or near Arizona CD7, are going to close. And so Democrats have to do a better job with their message to the American people. It has to be simple and direct, and Republicans should not be able to hide from these laws that they passed. And when you look at the where the Republican Party, I think, did better messaging is they literally got down to like the price of eggs. Well, let's talk about the price of eggs and everything else. And the fact that many people, hundreds of thousands of people have lost their jobs during this administration and under this administration. And too many people are having to make decisions about whether they're going to pay that bill, pay their rent, or have food on the table. And in a nation like ours, we should not be in this position. Nobody should.
Yeah, I think in Tennessee the facade is cracking. We have been living under Project 2025 for 15 years in the state, and
Mm.
the Republican supermajority, and now coupled with the Republican trifecta, there's no one else to blame. Um, so, they have resorted to the tried and true tactics of blaming immigrants, blaming trans kids. But as I've said on conservative talk radio, when I go on, that which immigrants are not the reason your grocery prices are high. And it's a moment in time where we have to take advantage of the paradigm shift and organize and be clear-eyed in the narrative as to what the deal is being presented in front of you. And that is the fact that, as I call them affectionately, the Billionaire Boys Club, or not affectionately, the Billionaire Boys Club and multinational corporations have bought and sold our system and rigged it against working people. And I say that with my whole chest. I've said that with my entire chest throughout my organizing career and as a state legislator. And it definitely crosses partisan lines. And I'm seeing that, and obviously the margins shrinking in our district from an R+20 district to a 4-point race.
Well, and that's because they see your opponent being right in line and in the pocket of those same big billionaire club, right?
Yeah, there's actually an ad as he is a puppet of the hedge fund, billionaires. And it's true. And I think, whether you agree with my stances or not, a lot of conservatives or Republicans in Tennessee say, you know what, she doesn't equivocate. I know where she stands on that issue. And she is one that has never accepted corporate PAC money. And it ended up being a main issue in our primary race, is that I've never taken corporate PAC money and I wasn't bankrolled by special interests. And it's hard, right? And Representative Grijalva and I are both, we rely on grassroots campaigning because we don't accept corporate PAC money. And it's the easy way out. And that's what people don't understand. It's made us better strategists, better elected officials, because we didn't take the easy way out, and we have fought tooth and nail for a system that isn't ruled by corporate oligarchs.
Mhm.
Well, and I think, one of the things that we know is that here in DC, it is, while we have been growing the number of no corporate PAC members, it is still not the majority of folks, right? It is right now we're at about 70 members of Congress out of 435. We need more. We need a lot more. We need folks like you all. And too often, it is that money that is causing the gridlock and the dysfunction that we see around every single issue. I mean, you both have been talking about it, whether it is healthcare prices or prescription drug prices or climate change or energy costs or grocery prices and big ag consolidation. You see the money causing the gridlock and the and just being unable actually to pass anything that would actually help people. So this is one reason why we work so closely with folks like you who have chosen to run a different way and to lead a different way and to say, I am actually going to forego money that could be available to me, right? So that my constituents know that they can have faith and trust in who I'm serving and that really matters. So I want to first say for everyone watching, it's also why they need you to give $5 if you can, or $10 if you can, because it is hard to stand up against Jeff Bezos's millions, as we were talking about earlier. But with the power of the grassroots, also that allows people to come into our democracy, to fight for it, to join phone banks and text banks, and to talk to their neighbors and to get out the vote. But look, we're getting some emojis, but we need that $5 or that $10. And we have folks who will drop links in the chat to make sure you know where to go to support Aftyn's campaign and help get her over the finish line and to be able to stand up to the big money. All right. So now I'm gonna keep building on that, which is, so there's a lot of reforms needed. We need to reform the Supreme Court. We need to reform our campaign finance system. We actually have a federal election commission that's been just out of commission for the last 200 days. Just as an example, we obviously need to end super PACs. We need to overturn Citizens United. We need to protect voting rights, which are also under attack. We have seen them trying to cheat around gerrymandering. So lots of, and then, you have jets from foreign governments. You have ballrooms that are being built off bribes. You have bribes for pardons. It is hard to keep track. And the emojis kind of stop because I'm listing all the bad things. But what can we actually do? What would be your first priority for a single anti-corruption reform in Congress? Which one would you choose and why? Aftyn, I'll start with you, and then Adelita, I'm coming to you.
Well, obviously why we're here, ending Citizens United. But a few of those, I mean, one thing is I've seen how dark money plays out, I mean, in our states and our politics. And so for me, it would definitely be, and I voted for this in the legislature, which is banning the involvement of foreign entities in our elections. And so I voted for that bill in the Tennessee legislature, and I would absolutely vote for that. I don't think other countries should be involved in our politics.
I love that. Yeah. We got to get it out. And the dark money actually allows foreign interference into our campaigns. And we see it actually being funneled through shell organizations too. So yes, I double click that. Congresswoman.
We have so many issues with campaign finance. It needs to be totally reformed. I'll give you an example. There was a group that registered themselves with a deficit of $91,000. I won't know who gave to that organization in order to fund several ads against me because, they have a deficit. They haven't reported any income. And I think that it's important that we have to deal with that. I think barring trading stocks for anybody, any member of Congress, anywhere. I mean, my biggest frustration is that we're critical, and I believe that we should be. I don't think that we should be taking corporate PAC money. I don't think that we should be trading stocks. But Trump has a literal sign on the front of the White House saying, for sale, justice is for sale. You know, if you want immigration status, give me $1 million. If you donate or buy my crypto or my family's crypto, then I'll go ahead and get your friend or yourself out of jail. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that is blatant in our face. And so,
Yeah.
what I believe we should legislate is so many of those, the ability to be able to do some of these things. And, in the short run, being able to limit the kinds of emergency sort of ability for the president or anybody to be able to do some of the things he's been able to do in general. I mean, that's just crazy. The fact that he could, declare a war, spend millions upon millions of dollars, bail out other countries when we don't have enough money for healthcare or SNAP benefits for people in poverty. That to me,
Yeah.
347,000 Arizonans were in danger of losing their SNAP benefits. Not people in general, babies. 347,000 babies.
Yeah, but we have 20 billion to send to Argentina, right?
Yeah, more
It,
than that, more than that. And then, we have private funders funding
yes.
funding the ballroom.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm sure that there are no political kickbacks for that.
Oh,
Right?
we've actually been
Yeah.
doing
I say that
please
super sarcastically, by the way.
please go follow us and watch our ballroom corruption alerts because literally every single ballroom donor that has been reported has either a something they are trying to get done from the government, no big contracts from the government, or investigations that they're trying to get cleared or that were cleared or a merger that they're trying to get through. It is all such quid pro quo that it is I mean, it is absolutely mind boggling. So yeah. Also, I love that you brought up the stock trading ban as well. I mean, I think that the idea that members of Congress can trade individual stocks and line their own pocket is just one of those issues that that people just are like, that doesn't make any sense. We absolutely should just have a ban on that. And what we've seen throughout the years is that members who do trade individual stocks, their portfolio, lo and behold, outperforms the average public, market share. Well, of course it does, right? Because there's insider information, even if it's not illegal insider information, there is information that they have that others don't. So we have been pushing this cycle. We're calling it Unrig Washington. Both of you are part of it, and it is three simple things. It is a stock trading ban. It is no corporate PAC money, and it is ending dark money. So all the things that you both just talked about. And so for everybody watching, go to unrigwashington.org and find out who all has signed up for it. We rolled it out with 80 members and candidates on it. We're well up over 100. We're getting ready to roll out another tranche. We got to keep this movement building. We have to keep going with this because we need lots more folks who are going to come to Washington and unrig it and fix it so it works for the people again. Okay, I talked too much. Okay, next question. We get this one a lot. I hear this one all the time when I'm out on the road too, which is just that people feel a sense of desperation and a little bit of hopelessness about how lost our political system is and just how broken it is. And especially in light of everything we're talking about, just the fact that people seem to be grifting and lining their own pocket and no one actually takes it doesn't they don't feel like anyone cares about them or cares about the struggles that they're facing. So what would you say to people who are like fed up and don't know what to do and want change but feel powerless to make it happen?
Um, I'll go, Afton, go ahead and then I'll piggyback.
You go first,
You're right in the
Adelita.
middle of the campaign, so you're like, let me tell you what you can do.
Yeah, no, please go. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that it's so important for us to like talk about the issues that are going to engage people. Let's talk just real talk. What is it that's important to you? It's so easy to get disengaged. It's so easy to step back and say, this system is blown up. I'm not going to participate in it. And then you have these shining examples of when people actually turn out to vote, that it can make a difference. And what we have to do is be those honorable people that once we're in office, we commit and stick to what we promised. There are a lot of us. But unfortunately, what happens is I can't tell you how many people have said, please don't let Washington change you. I
Mm.
really like you or I love you. Don't let it change you. And that is an easy thing that happens when you're here and surround yourself with people who are just a bunch of yes people. So be keeping engaged in your communities, going out all the time and letting people talk to you about the issues that are important to them is what is going to keep you engaged. And I have to say, like, I have 3 kids. I have to look them in the eye when they're talking to me about what I'm doing. And I'm proud of what we're working on right now. I was just talking to my daughter before we got on here, and she's like, "So what happened today?" And that is what I feel like we have to be able to hold a mirror in front of ourselves and still be proud of everything that we've done. And so I think that that is really, really important. And then helping people like Aftyn, who are like, I'm trying out here to engage in a district that when she started, everyone, I'm sure, were very dismissive of her. And now
Mhm.
here she is, 4 points. That's amazing. That's
That
amazing. And that's a testament to going out and talking to people and being a real person. We're real people. And we just have to remind people of that and that there are so many races that have been decided by like the sliverest of like the tiniest little margin, but it makes a difference. And so those people, we have to get them flexing that voting muscle and continue to do it because it's so important.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's what they call a margin of error race. She's within the margin of error, folks. That means this is tied up. This is anyone's game. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Aftyn, go
mean,
ahead.
places like Tennessee are, they feel hopeless. I mean, I mean, I can't state enough just how, um, what of a dark era we are living in here. There are no checks and balances. There is no accountability. I have state agencies that won't respond to my email as a state legislator because I'm a Democrat, even though I'm asking for information about SNAP, et cetera. It's really scary. And not only that, but we deal with our state overreach into our cities. So our blue cities will pass things that benefit, that address the cost of living, and the state comes in. And I say that because and it's also, you know, one must imagine Sisyphus happy as he's rolling the boulder up the hill because we face so many electoral losses in this state. But I want to highlight how this race and my candidacy has been a 10-year long project because I worked for Indivisible. I was their organizer. I helped generate all of these groups across the state who are now knocking doors and holding signs above overpasses for my campaign right now. And it's taken a long time. It is a very long road. And as you know, MLK said, the road of justice is long, but it is worthwhile. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And so what gives people hope, I think, is also, I've really tried to invest in young people in this race and realizing that they are the next generation of leaders. And so how do we leverage within Representative Grijalva's office and my congressional campaign to invest in young people who need the organizing skills to move forward and giving them a little hope and courage to step forward and take democracy into their own hands.
Well, I think that is a great place to ask the question that we have answered a little bit, but I want you to go even another step further, which is, so how do they take that power in their hands? How can they help you in this campaign? How many days left do we have? What do you need folks to do? We are all here to help you get elected. So how can folks help the campaign?
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks left. So early
Two
voting.
weeks.
2 weeks today. Early voting in Tennessee lasts until the 26th, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And then the election is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So as you are able, the type of energy that was seen for Virginia and New Jersey and for Representative Grijalva's race, we could always use money. We're trying to stick up on it. They've spent $1 million in this race that they didn't want to spend, but because we're out organizing them. And then obviously phone banking, we can go to our website. I'll drop the link in the chat, but we have phone bank. I know, and I think you all are offering phone banking as well. But this is our race if we want it, because Tennessee is last in voter turnout, and the more touches a voter gets, the better. And so we've just been hearing incredible stories of, people waking up, seeing my face on Instagram or our interview with you, Tiffany, and then my commercial at the gym, and then they get a postcard at home, and the excitement is just palpable. And so I'm just really honored to be the Democratic nominee, but we have a chance to show this country, to send shockwaves across the country on December 2nd. And I'm just very grateful for your endorsement. It means a lot. It is one that I've always wanted and coveted. And so I'm just deeply honored to be one of your candidates.
Well, we are so excited that you are one of our candidates. We're so honored with your leadership and your partnership, and we're going to win this. 2 weeks, we're going to do this. All the momentum is on your side, and the people are really fired up. And I think that the people are ready to help and to make those phone calls. And every conversation you have, everyone watching, every conversation you have can be the difference, right? Because this is a special election, and turnout is what's going to matter the most. And so you have the opportunity to take a seat that Republicans never saw coming and to actually have to catch lightning in the bottle and to send a fighter for the people to Washington, D.C., where she can join another fighter for the people. So, Congresswoman Grijalva, how can folks support you? You're now in office. How can folks help support the amazing work that you're doing?
Well, we are going to open up an office in district. We are literally just launching all of our platforms. Everything's sort of a little bit delayed because of the 50 days of waiting without a budget. So now that we're sort of rolling, and then as a reminder, I'm still going to be campaigning because I'm in office for 13 months roughly, and then I'll be starting up again.
Fun times. Get to do it all
Sorry,
again. No,
I
you
have
okay?
it's the change in weather. The
Yes.
change in temperature is causing a little bit of an itch.
That's because you are
Sorry.
used to that beautiful Arizona sunshine. And for all those who don't know, it is cold and wet and gross and
It is.
gray here in DC today. It is not.
I love it, but my body does not.
My body does not either. All right. I can you believe we are already at the end of our time? That just flew by. So before we wrap up, and I am gonna let folks know how they can get involved, but just want to offer up to both of you a chance to make closing statements. I think the Congresswoman is still maybe getting a drink. Representative Behn, do you want to give us some closing statements?
Of course. Once again, deeply honored to be here, Representative Aftyn Behn. I'm a pissed off social worker that decided to run for office as our democracy collapsed in Tennessee. And I feel honored to be running in this district at a time of authoritarian capture and corporate rule. This moment requires, I think, a contagious courage that I hope to show my state and people across the country that candidates like me can run in the South and can win. But like I said, it comes on the heels of my organizing mentors and all of those people who took a chance on me. And so we have the opportunity to rewrite the Democratic playbook in the South and to send shockwaves across this country by winning this race and sending a message to Washington that we are fed up, we've had enough. And that this political project that is culminating for the right is not one that we see as our future. So thank you so much. And my link, I hope, is in the chat, and deeply grateful. And hopefully I'll be joining Representative Grijalva in January.
I love the contagious courage. I have been saying courage is contagious, and we all need to do everything we can because you don't know who you're inspiring next to you, right? And your campaign is inspiring people all across this nation. So thank you so, so much for being with us tonight. Congresswoman, are you okay?
Heck, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay. You
It's
want to
just
give
like-
us some closing remarks?
I just want to thank you all. I want to thank Aftyn for her ganas. It's like you have to have it inside, and it's what draws people to your campaign. You are this close, and I'm sure you've surrounded yourself with an amazing team. But I have to say, it's that last minute push at the end when people from all over start dialing in, start dialing for you. You don't have to be in Tennessee to help her. You can help her from wherever you are. And it makes a big difference because when you call somebody from Tennessee and you're like, "Hi, I'm Adelita from Arizona, and I am calling you to go out and vote because it's important. It's important for our entire democracy in our nation to have balance, to encourage people that we have to work together across the aisle in order to address the real concerns for the American people, regardless. And right now, there is no incentive for Republicans to work with us. There isn't. They can just blow us off and keep it moving. And here in DC, we need fighters. We need so many more that are willing to just like you're coming in and who you are loyal to and who you are beholden to is the district that elected you. And those are the kind of people we need more of here. And so I want to encourage every single one of us to get like link up, volunteer. If you do an hour, that's you're going to reach 15 people that her volunteers right now can't reach. So let's get it done together. 'Cause that's the only way we're going to win. And so I want to thank you for having the guts to be out here to do it. And for all of us, we have to work together to get it done. And any campaign that you feel like drawn to the candidate, especially right now, she's within like the margin of error. It was at this time that I had an influx of volunteers because they were like, oh my gosh, we could actually do this. And while she might be getting outspent, she's not going to get outworked.
That's
So
right.
let's help her out and get her across the finish line. And thank you,
Uh,
Citizens United, for giving us the opportunity to do it.
well, thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman Grijalva. And that's exactly right. Matt Van Ness and his puppetry, they may have the big money, they may have the biggest billionaires and the billionaire boys clubs, but they don't have the people and they don't have the passion and they don't have all of us standing together. And right now we're facing an uphill battle in this country to protect Americans from the greedy powers that are taking it, right? They are coalescing that power and taking it for themselves. But I know that there is opportunity because we are building together and we are building people power across this country to fight back and to win. And so now's the time to stand up. Now's the time to get involved. You are already on this because you are engaged and involved. Let's take it a step further. Text NEXT, NEXT, to 59424, and my team will drop that in the chat. But that way you can get connected to our organizing team and you can find links for the Tennessee phone banks that we are helping with. Because as you heard here, we have 2 weeks left and there is no time to wait. We have to make sure that we are doing everything possible to flip this district and send Aftyn to Congress, where I am really looking forward to watching her hold all of these special interests accountable because we have seen what she has done in Tennessee. We have seen the way that she fights, and we cannot wait to have that fight in Washington. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, text NEXT to 59424. You can also go to ecuorganize.org and get involved. And let's do this. We got 2 weeks left. Let's go win this. Thank you all.